With the end of World War II, Maryland men and women came marching home to rebuild their lives. And Curley Byrd promised to build a university big enough to hold all of them.
Curley made a decision after World War II to take in every qualified graduate in the state of Maryland who's a veteran to come in.
Byrd's university now had an open-door policy, and veterans overwhelmed the campus. Between 1945 and 1946, the school's population more than doubled.
The GI Bill made it possible for American young men who came home from war, and women, but largely it was men, to attend the university, and they did so in tremendously increasing numbers.
We heard that 1,100 men were coming back to campus. Well, naturally, the girls are terribly excited about that.
Students had to live like soldiers again. Bachelors were crammed into crowded dormitories or assigned to double-deck bunk beds set up in the new Armory building. Married men moved their families into old Army barracks set up on the edge of campus.
They were very serious about their studies, and they were no foolishness, if you know what I mean.
To catch up with an overcrowded campus, Byrd launched another building spree. A new science and engineering complex, funded largely by a gift from Glenn L. Martin, the aviation pioneer. And new buildings for students and sports, funded largely by the money from all those soldiers on the GI Bill.
Curley Byrd billed the Uncle Sam on the GI Bill out-of-state fees for all in-state Maryland veterans. And they put that money aside in kind of an escrow fund.
The GI Bill provided the seed money for the student union, Cole Fieldhouse, and Byrd Stadium, home for his greatest football team.
He made a decision that Maryland was going to move up to the big time.
To build his team, he hired the best coaches he could find. And finally, Big Jim Tatum, the man who would build a big-time team.
Coach was about 6'5" and weighed about 250 pounds. And when he came into a room, his aura just took the room over.
We knew how to block, we knew how to tackle, we knew how to run, we knew how to do all the fundamentals. So Jim Tatum was a great teacher.
He would lay out the whole gamut for you before the game all week long. He would tell me, he said, look, Filoni, I'm going to call the plays for you Monday through Thursday. Friday, you call your own plays, and the game on Saturday, you're on your own.
Organization was his keynote, and I can remember on the night preceding the Sugar Bowl, Coach Tatum had me over in his room, and we roomed together, and going to sleep that evening, I got the what if they do this, and what if they do that, and what if, until finally I guess I fell asleep because I don't remember saying goodnight to him.
Tatum took his teams to the Gator Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and in 1953, they brought Curley Byrd a national championship.
Mighty Maryland takes the field against visiting Alabama to wind up the season unbeaten. Only major collegiate team with a perfect record.
Byrd's teams were winning games and making money, and raising questions. Football was more than sport for Byrd, and more than money for new buildings. It was strategy. The coaches would bring in the players would bring in the people, and the people would love and be loyal to his university.
It's a wonderful school for sports, and people love it here, as you can see, which is great. I mean, you have to be in a place where there's a community of alumni here who really support the school, and it's not just when you're here, but it lasts for decades after you leave.
In the end, Byrd Stadium was not big enough for Curley Byrd. A beautiful campus, new buildings, a national championship. None of it was enough. Curley Byrd wanted a bigger field than a stadium or a campus, a bigger prize than a national championship. In 1953, after 18 years leading the University of Maryland, he resigned. Curley Byrd would run for governor.